All right. Get this going. Cool. Let me get Cinema4D open and we'll start rocking. We're all good there. Close this down, close this down. Cool. What's up, Kira? I like your sunglasses. So little different format today. Kill this off too. Little different format today. I'm gonna do it twice, just for a little while, answering Q&A, see what people have to say. But no, I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. Move my Slack over here, and I'm excited for that. So So I think I left my streaming window open. Don't need that since it's already going. All right. Cool. Where is my little bar? There it is. Cool. That's not what our topic is today. Well, that's good to hear that it's not 5 a.m. or whatever. What's up? Hands in the air. Woo! So I'm kind of just going to mess around and make a scene. But as you guys come in, and if you have questions, feel free to ask me questions. I don't really have a plan of action. I'm just really excited that I'm just about to hit 1,000 subscribers. I think I was 30 away. I'm not like a Twitch streamer. I don't have any cool widgets and stuff that show countdowns, but yeah. Oh, you know what? Is the chat not showing up for you guys? It's not showing up right now, is it? I just noticed that in my settings. I may get that going for you guys. Sorry about that. I split? I didn't realize I was subbed. Good morning. Good morning. Can you guys see the chat in the stream? Because it looks like it's not showing up for me, which is weird. I open it in a browser. So it's ready to display messages, but it's not. Interesting. Why? You're happy to display messages, but you're not. Counts. We'll get started in a second here. Just want you guys to be able to see the chat. Nope, it's not appearing. All right, so I'm just going to turn off this chat window for a second, and we'll kill that, kill this. Let me just add in a window really quick so you guys can have some kind of chat. Restream. Okay. Sorry for the blackness. Don't worry. Cleaning it up in a second. There we go. All right, can have some sort of chat now. It's a little bit small, but it will do. All right, so let's see. There's 12 of you now. Let's make a scene. What do you guys want to make? I kind of want to continue working on this like forest scene that I was working on before that I just put into my reel. So maybe I'll start working on that again. I think I'm gonna take a look at that. But if you have questions, feel free to ask them as I'm doing this, and I'll answer what I can. Kid Bash, what's in here? Oh, these are probably the French monkeys. Yeah. Don't try and load this, please, computer. Big Green Mug. Who is that? I recognize that name. Are we really like locking up 2 seconds into this? No, it's just my hard drive doesn't want to read that. Big Green Mug. Who are you? I know who you are, but I can't put the name to it. I just recognize your screen name. Also, let me know if the background music gets annoying. I don't usually do that on streams, but since it's kind of like a weird live stream today, I thought it might be appropriate. All right, I want like science tech and antenna pack. I think that's the one I want. Is this the giant antenna? Yes. All right, so I'm gonna start working with this. Start building out a scene. I think I want to do like a School of Motion. John, that's right. Okay. Man, I didn't know you were subscribed either. That's awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, man. All right, so I'm gonna start making some more stuff with these. Get a little cloner going. Throw this in here. Apparently wants to rotate. Man, I'm getting pop-ups from email. Stupid Gmail. All right, so negative 90. Cool, good enough. So does anyone have any questions? Is chat showing up all right now? You guys cool, just hanging out? Also, sorry if you got multiple notifications for this. Restream got a little happy and tried to start the stream early, even though YouTube was on a timer. I don't know how that worked out, but I got an email notification that I was going live. So if you got one, my apologies. Let's throw a ground plane in here. Just something for that to rest on. I just realized my headphones are putting out music too. Turn that off. So as more people come in, I'm guessing some of you are subscribers that are first here. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hanging out and coming to the live streams on Thursdays and asking questions and submitting ideas for videos. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So yeah, this is kind of just a thanks to you guys. there. If you guys want me to do any kind of specific tutorials right now while we're live, let me know. There's been a cool little influx of updates lately, so that's been cool. Foliage for larger scale scenes. Yeah, I mean, so this scene that I'm kind of recreating right now, I can show you. It's got a ton of foliage in it. It might take a second to prepare all the geometry that's in here. Processing textures. But yeah, David, I would use proxies for sure, and then rendering instances of those proxies. So if we take a look at this scene, I've got mushrooms all over, and then I've got trees all over. And I'll just change my camera view too, so we're just having whatever. But all of this is made with instances of these proxy assets here. So if you're working with stuff from Megascans, like this is from Megascans, that's probably your best bet. Is that something you're looking for, David? Something like this, where it's just a bunch of trees and grass and foliage and things like that? Like, what kind of foliage are you looking towards? What's up, Giovanni? Internal Viz Portal Light, for example. If you go check out my lighting tutorial, it's like one of the first videos that come out. I talk about the Portal Light. I can open that up really quickly. Well, I mean, it's going to be faster overall in your viewport because it's not bringing in all the geometry. So let me just show that to you. Turn off these cloners. Where's the stump? So here's this stump, and I'm going to go to just like a hidden line mode. So right in here, I have it set to see the mesh. When it comes on, it's actually just a bounding box, or it's off and it's the outline of a bounding box. So it makes your viewport really fast because it's not processing all that geometry. But if you want to actually see some of the geometry, you can control it through here. So it makes looking around your scenes really fast and active. And then when you go to render it, it actually is pulling in the geometry from this scene. So I have a proxy video, but I can just do it really quickly. Let's for giggles come in here, and actually, since I already have another scene open in the background, let's say I wanted these antenna. You're welcome, Giovanni. Hey, Gacy Momo, what's up? So if you want to make these into a proxy, you can. And I'm just going to make the antenna individual a proxy for the time being. And we'll go to export. And under your export settings, you'll see everything. And we'll go down to Redshift proxy. And it's very much like an Alembic file if you've ever used an Alembic file. And you hit that, and I'll just save it to the desktop as dish. So the cool thing about Redshift proxies is you can export an entire scene. So you see here all objects or just selected objects, which all I want is this selected null group. And you can export lights with it, compress the data, polygon connectivity. So I think we're going to turn that on just in case there's any polygons connected in there, or like connects. You can set your proxy origin, so world origin or to the object bounds. I'm going to set it to object bounds, so that means when I bring it in, it's unified to itself. You can add the proxy back into the scene if you want, so if I leave that checked, once I hit OK, it'll bring it back into the scene. And then you can remove the exported objects. So once you export it, if you do bring it back in as a proxy, it will just clean up your scene, make it nice and normal. And then there's all this other stuff, included your default AOVs and beauty pass. And then if you want to make it animated, if you've got keyframes and stuff, it'll do that too. So do all frames, export it out, and it will include all your frames, or you can just do preview range, manual, whatever you need. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK, make sure, yeah, I didn't remove the object. So we'll just hit OK, and it's generally pretty quick. So let's jump into the other scene and say I wanted to bring the antenna in there. It might take a second to load up because I've got all this other stuff going on. So you'll see I have these dishes here, but they're not proxies. I just made them really quickly. And they're not even in cloners as instances. And I'm going to merge an object. So what do we call it? Dish.rs. As soon as I bring that in, I'll hit. Go ahead and find this on here. So it's going to be pretty big, it looks like. I'm going to scale it down some. And I'll go into preview, bounding box. You can see how big it is there. Oh, I guess it's not letting me scale it down. I guess I have to do it through coordinates. So let's do like 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5. That's one thing I wish Redshift would update is VDBs and I guess proxies. I thought proxies you could scale down, but you can't use the manual controls. You have to type them in under coordinates. I think that's just like a carryover from other 3D applications like Maya and Houdini. But so we've got that block, and if I had some lights on, let me just turn on the default light, see if that will give us something. I'll turn these lights off. There we go. Now that we just have our default light going, you'll see there's our dish. It's a proxy, and it's just super fast. And it's not actually bringing any geometry into your viewport, so when you want to update, makes it easy. And then you can turn on instances if you throw it in a cloner as well. So I'm going to turn off these dishes right here. Go ahead and throw this in a cloner. And I'm going to have to pull back since they're all on top of each other. You can offset it in the X. I'm gonna undo that for a second. Go to this side, maybe like 2500. Wow, these are big. There we go. All right, so if I hit play again, you'll see it's saying extracting the geometry, so it's pulling it in from the proxies, and that's that. And then if I go in here, make sure render instances is on, then even those are instances. And so now when I move around, you'll see it updates pretty quickly. And if I come in and I really want to optimize the scene, I can go up to like 3 on the undersampling. I'll be even faster. So in general, it's a lot faster, or I've found that's a lot faster to start using proxies, especially for foliage and things like that. So let's see. Yes, foliage with lots of opacity planes. They seem to slow down Redshift render significantly. Yeah, I think depending on how the opacity planes are set up, David, it's definitely going to make it a heavier scene. Mostly, if it's actual opacity, it shouldn't make that big of a difference. But if it's like refraction, that kind of opacity and translucency, for example, having each tree leaf a slightly different hue. I am not sure if object IDs carry over. I know shaders carry over, so if I had a shader on this and I brought it in, it would carry over, and then you can replace it. So if I come in here, oh, you know, it has object ID overrides, so you probably would be able to override this if you turn this on. But you can definitely override the materials. So by proxy file, or have it read the object, or have it read the scene and match the name and prefix. But with the override here, I've never tried it, but I bet you could totally do what you want to do. So with object ID, turn that on, and then maybe user data, using that for slightly different hue. I'd have to play around with it, but that would be my guess for sure. Yeah, I would think. Yeah, you know, I didn't notice this either. I don't know if it's been added recently or if I've just never noticed it. I know tessellation and displacement's been down here, but for override, object ID, and user data, I'm not sure how long that's been in there. It's probably been in there and I just haven't caught it. You're welcome. So, anyone else have any questions? I think I saw one for internal viz and Giovanni. If you want me to show that, Geo, I can, or if you can go watch it, but I can bring it up really quick if anyone else is watching and wants to just see some quick lights. I think I have it in here. Lights, there we go, and right there. So a portal light, I'm gonna just turn this on, and it's got a box with these spheres inside. So what's going to happen with a portal light? Come on, open. As you come into these options, and you pretty much set it up to read whatever light is in the scene, and then it's going to push it through here. So if I turn off this light, you'll see that the whole scene gets a lot darker, and it's just kind of pulling in light through here. While I turn this back on, as it's catching up. Oh no, C4D, come on. You can do it. I'll install that later. Just update. We might get some crashes. I think I'm streaming at 4K at the moment. Man. All right, let's reopen that. Is it still in here? No. Open production. Lights. All right. Let this load up. Change my layout for you guys. So, Giovanni, if you are still watching, the tutorial that I have up is going to be what you're seeing here. This is the project file that I used for it. But for the demo, we'll turn this on. I'll turn off this physical sun. I've got this portal, or this dome for the portal light, and then the portal light here. So what's going to happen is if I turn this off, you'll see the room goes dark. And even though it's got a hole in the wall here, it doesn't actually read the light really well. And then if I crank it up, say to like 500, you might get some light that bounces in if you're lucky. Let's see, which we're not, so that's fine. I'm gonna change this to something and make sure, yep, it's hooked up. Cool. So the way the portal light's gonna work is you're gonna turn this on, and it is sitting right here. It's going to act like a window. You generally put it where your cutout is, or where your window is in your internal scene. Yeah. So this, it kind of doubles up. So I'll turn this back down to say 5. So this is our light source. If I come back out, let's see. I'll just turn off my camera in general. If I come back out, you'll see I have this box set up with a camera inside. This is our portal light. And then I've got a dome light for the entire scene, which you can see is kind of blowing out the whole scene. So I'm going to come back into our portal light camera here. So this dome light is what's coming through the portal right there, and that's being controlled by the portal light here. So you can see as I move this around, this is picking up the information from the dome light. So the way that works is under your general settings. You get your sizing information and intensity multiplier and other things you can change, such as tint color and how transparent the portal is. So if, it needs to be a tinted window or less transparent, you can control things like that here. It's not updating. I don't think it's updating because I don't have buckets on at the moment, just progressive. But for your environmental shader, this is what you're going to put in to pick up the lighting. So if I were to make another portal, and this one, I'll make this lighting here. So if I turn off this light, you'll see it's trying to read this dome portal here, and I'll update it, and now we'll get all the information from it. So if I turn down the exposure here, it gets affected there. But if you want to increase it, so say I have 5 here, and you have this intensity multiplier, I can do 2. It's actually going to be 10, or I can have 10 in here. You can really hone it in this way. And then you can also control your samples. So let's say our scene's not really cleaning up very well. Control that all right there. This is going to probably be blown out now that I've got the intensity really high, but we'll see. Not sure how well this is going to render at the moment with the stream. But if you want to keep your dome samples down, so if I come in here, and if you're not understanding what I'm saying, definitely review like my first few videos of setting up a scene and the workflow, and then review the lighting. But each light gets its own samples. So if I wanted to turn this down and say maybe make it 16, then this compensates. So if the environment is working outside and it's not noisy, but it's getting noisy in your internal scene, then you can up your samples in here. So you're pretty much taking the information from whatever light source. Right now it's using Dome Portal 1 and controlling it down to, say, an area light here. This is just an area light that's pulling in information from a different source. So as I move this around, an area light would be doing the same thing. It wouldn't be projecting backwards, it's projecting forwards. And then now that it's outside the box, it's going to project out. And then as I bring it back in, it acts just like an area light, but you have a little bit more control over it. So Giovanni, does that make sense? Are you starting to understand it a little bit more? So if you want to have an area light outside, then you would add the area light and make that your source. I'll do that too for you. Let me just get an area light going. So this is our area light, and it lights up the scene, kind of. But if you wanted to be outside, say the light is a light post or something outside, we can put that outside. And you'll see it's not actually coming through anymore. Like it is, but it's not doing a good job. It's not completely seamless. We're going to go into our portal light. Cool. So you're starting to understand now. And grab this area light, and now we'll start to have more control over it. So if I bring up the intensity, it's going to multiply based on the area light here. If you want to change the tint at all, now it goes red. Seems like my scene isn't updating in the render view particularly. It's got a little bit of red in there, but you get the idea now. But yeah, if you watch the tutorials or you start to make it and you get confused, just shoot me an email or a message here on YouTube, and I'm pretty prompt at responding. So I'm going to close this. No, don't need to save it. Oh, did I not say? Well, I guess I cleared out the information here. What else should we cover? You are welcome. Did I miss any questions already? Cool. Good. New mess. Any tips on how to load, for example, PNG sequence into material, maybe like water drops on an object? I don't know that I have a PNG sequence, but yeah, we can see if I can do something like that. Let me just I'm gonna get a sphere. Does everybody like spheres? Cool. And create a new material. So the way that I would go about it is create a texture, bring it in here. And so you're gonna have just a regular image that you can bring in, or you can bring in an animation, and this is where you're gonna control it. I'll go see if I have a sequence I can bring in, probably in like my cache or my tank renders. What do I have in here? Poop tube. I think, yeah, this is something I never actually put out. So I'll grab this. This is like an image or X particles test that I was doing. So I'll do it like this. So what should happen if I go into animation, I need to turn this on. We'll just say simple, and then you can detect frames. So we'll hit that. And I always render at 24 frames. So I'll just change that there to 24 frames per second and throw it on the sphere here. And as I scrub through, you'll see it starts to play there. It's not going to update in the viewport. It's just going to hang around like that. But there you go. You can see my PNG sequence rendering here. I know that was really fast, Antonius, so if you need me to go through it slower, let me know. It's pretty much 3 steps of making sure you have a texture, bringing it in, your sequence, whatever it is, switching to animation, getting it to be whatever you want. So simple, which will just play straight through. Looping will play through and then play through and play through. Ping pong will just play back and forth, so all the way through, and then play it in reverse. So simple is usually what most people need. And that's about it. And so now when I scrub through, you'll see this plays through on that. But if you're talking about like animating a texture itself, then that's different. But it seems like you want a PNG sequence, right, Antonius? My mic's in the way, I can't see. You see, thanks. Okay, cool. Thanks, Antonius, for the question. Just checking my Slack. Cool. Make sure. That's cool there. All right. So there's 8 of you in the chat at the moment. Drop down a little bit. I'm just reviewing, see if I missed any questions. Good. All right. So just while we're talking about animated textures, like PNG sequences, I'm going to show how to do a regular texture animated, just like a still, because I've been getting that question a lot lately, and it for some reason has been confusing people, but I think it's pretty straightforward. They just aren't looking deep enough. So if you're one of those people, it's pretty easy to animate a texture. I'm gonna go get just like some scratches. Come on, there we go. Yeah, we'll just do tech it and something like that. That should work. Give it a second to process and catch up. Cool. All right, so let's say you just have a still texture that you want to animate and not a sequence. The easiest way to go about doing that is if you scroll down to the bottom of your texture node, so right in here, you'll see that you have scale, offset, and rotation. So, we can keyframe this here, and let's go back to 1, and let's say we want to keyframe, oh man, is it trying to animate all these? No, okay, good, I cleared out. Let's offset this by 1 here. So it starts at 1 and goes down to 0. And then you can get that rotating effect there. And if you want to go in both directions, let's say we start at 0 here, and then as we go to the end, we'll make this one go up to 1, like so. And then, of course, you can rotate it at the same time, too. So we'll go back to the beginning, offset the rotation at the end, say 360. So then you can really get these fun rotations here. Almost looks like it's warping a little bit. So that's a nice little quick tip. I know it's not completely obvious. A lot of people try and animate it in here with the coordinates, which you can do. Oh, I guess you can't do. Maybe that's why people have been asking, because I thought you could animate it in there. Can you not animate the XY coordinates either? Okay, so that's why people have been asking so much. All right, so yeah, it's in the texture node. I really thought you used to be able to do it in here too, but in the texture node, these same controls that are usually in your material settings and the coordinates here can be found right in there. However, you can scale in here, right? Or offset. Oh yeah, you can use offset in here and in here. So it's all right. Either way, you can do it. Kill this. Cool. All right, what other questions do you guys have? It's just a free-for-all. It's almost 11 already, so I'm going to be streaming today from 10 to 12, and this is Eastern Standard Time, so 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So about another hour and 20 minutes for this stream. Then I'm going to break for lunch around 12, and then I will stream again starting around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to go until about 3 or 3:30, depending on how active it is then, because I got to pick up my kids at some point from school. But yeah. What else can we do? Man, I think I'll just go back to making the scene I was going to make, and I think I'll start with this one, and I'll move away from it. That way I'm not bringing in a bunch of stuff. So if there are not questions, if I ask, is it possible to show a good way for baking global illumination? Sure. I don't usually bake global illumination. So it's not like a specialty of mine. You're like talking about baking global illumination for Unity output? So, I honestly can't answer that question really well. The closest things I have are like you can cache in your Radiance cache and everything. I know you can bake out stuff. I don't ever do it because I don't ever work with games, so I haven't had a need to. Let's see. Antonius, I tested Turbulence FD for fire smoke with Redshift or X particles. It's way better. I haven't tested Turbulence FD. I don't have Turbulence FD. I have X particles, and it's the workflow is going to be similar for both. So let me answer Giovanni's question, and then I'll do some X particle stuff too. Is there a good way for animation? Good way to bake global illumination? Like I said, I don't ever bake global illumination, so just like V-Ray. I've never used V-Ray. So like I said, I don't ever bake global illumination. I haven't found a need to. Like I feel like Redshift is so fast already. Unless like you're doing internal scenes like with V-Ray, like it seems like you're saying, because your last question was, I think, interior, right? That was you, Giovanni. Yeah, then I could see why you want to be baking, but Redshift is already really fast, especially for internal renders. But I'll look into it because I should know it. I don't know it. Antonius, as far as workflow for like fire and smoke, the way it's going to work is with turbulence, or if you're working in Houdini or X particles, is, let's just go to dynamics, and we have this new Explosia. My nose is starting to itch a lot all of a sudden. If you see me rubbing my nose a lot all of a sudden, it's just getting dry in here. We have Explosia, and you're going to create an object. So we'll just do a sphere in the center here. And X particle tags. And this is going to be our source. And I can kill the emitter and don't need the group. So let me stop this. If I hit play, you'll see we get all this fire here. We get our explosion. I think I have this on adaptive, so it should push up, but it may not. It's probably also going to be really slow because I'm streaming at the same time. So let's say that's our explosion and you want to see it in Redshift. If you hit play, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to get the object. And if I try to add a material to it, you can't actually pull in any of the materials or the information. So I'll throw material on here. Actually, I'll throw it on here. You are welcome for the snow shader. I'm glad that you like it. I've been getting some good feedback on that, especially the yellow snow. So let's say we want to bring in some material on this. I should have made a volume, not a regular material. Got sidetracked. So I bring that in and I click on this here. Look at our volume, and you have these scatter channels. And if you click on this here for Turbulence FD, you can bring these in live. It's just not there for X particles, but you would bring in, say, your density. And then down here, you would bring in, say, temperature, and it will control everything here, and you just convert your ramps, and that's how you get it to go. But for anything else, you have to bake these out into OpenVDBs and then bring them in as an animation. It's just how Redshift works at the moment. I'm hoping that it will update soon. But to show you that, I'll just bring in a volume. It's probably the best thing to do. Dirt shaders next. Like, what kind of dirt shaders? Like actual dirt, or dirt shaders like Octane, which are just like curvature maps? Because actual dirt, I could probably do that. That is not what I want. I want tutorials. And actually, you know what? While we're live, after I bring in this VDB, I will see as a TIFF. I want the actual, there we go, VDB sequence. So what you do is you'd bake out a VDB. But what I was going to say is I will see about creating one live. It might be fun to dissect that. I'm going to throw this on there. And let's get a light. It's huge. Let's bring up this volume. Okay, 100. Cool. And this light, we're going to have to add volume contribution to it. And it should update in a second. Actual dirt. Okay. That seems like a good challenge. I can probably do that. What else do I need to do? So in here we have our channel information. We have density, temperature, velocity. This is where we're going to pull that. So we'll do density here. And in a second, it should add to it. Why are you not adding to it? Density, temperature. Maybe I need to change this to animation, simple, detect frames. All right, I'll go forward a few frames. Yeah, there we go. Now it's saying it's loading. I'm gonna bring this light out, like so. Still not, man, why is that off now? Contribution, come on. Blow this up. Should be coming through now. Why are you doing this to me, Redshift? All right, one last try. Let me get one of Mitch Meyer's VDBs because maybe there's something wrong with my VDB. Stock, no, 3D VDBs. So if you don't know, Mitch Meyer's has a VDB pack and it's awesome. It's got a bunch of different stuff in here. You should go buy it if you're looking for some VDBs. Yeah, it is being totally stubborn. In my case, I can't choose like density and volume material for turbulence to see something. So you have turbulence FD, and if you make a volume material, it doesn't let you choose any of these. Like it doesn't let me choose any of these right now because I don't think I have it on a turbulence object. So I think it has to be on an object. But I don't have turbulence FD to try it with, so don't quote me on anything. That would just be my guess if I were to troubleshoot it. Did I not spell density right? What is going on? Why are we not getting density? Cool. Yeah, why not? The area light still has that? Yeah. All right, let me kill these. This is irritating. Redshift volume, which we've got. VDB. Cool. Let's create a volume material. Throw this on here. Okay, so that pulled in the information right. So you can see density now. Density. Area light. So where's our volume? Really small. Okay. Make it 10 by 10 by 10, something like that. This area light's gonna be too big and blow it out, but that's all right. Just so we can get something happening. There we go. right. So now you can see that we actually have some volume in here. Yeah, without Turbulence FD, I don't really know how to troubleshoot it directly. My guess is really going to be that it is an issue of making sure it's on the right, like your materials on the right object that it needs to be on to be able to pull the information from it. Maybe it's like everything else where you have to bake it out. I just don't have a good direct answer for you, unfortunately. So dirt. All right. This seems like a good challenge for a little bit. Caramel. I think that's the cleanest one I have right now. Cool. All right. So let's make some dirt. So, you know what? I'm going to begin by getting some reference. So, dirt. Moves over here. Let's keep this here. All right. So, John, what kind of dirt are you looking for? Are you looking for like granular, powdery dirt? Are you looking for like wet, muddy dirt? Are you looking for Minecraft dirt? What are these? Are these, I guess, dirt bombs? Okay, well, that's food. Let's say dirt 3D shader. See some examples of what people have done. That looks like mud. Oh, here's something. I have a feeling a lot of these are going to be using textures. This one, the ArtStation one, or this one, the like muddy one. Because this one does look great. I have a feeling it may be, I don't know. It says it's tileable substance, so maybe it was made in Substance Designer. Underground cross section. Okay. So you kind of need like a little bit of wetness, or like is it going to be dry? I picture, depending on how far underground it is, it's probably got some moisture in it. Dry soil. Okay. So dry dirt. Something like that, maybe not so rocky, maybe like this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it procedurally. I'll try. So these big chunks in there, dry dirt, I bet it'll be kind of like my snow shader. So we'll try that out. Let's see. Probably need some like noise to start and go from there. So John's dirt. So let's see. I think I'm going to start with some displacement. And we'll go from there. Make sure I have displacement on. Nope. Okay. So I'll turn this on, turn on tessellation. What's my sampling at? Don't need that many. So we'll do like 128. That should be good. All right, so let's hook up our displacement and then we'll get some noise and see about that too. I think, yeah, like some of this in here can be just noise, I bet. And then, oh yeah, see, there's a snow shader right there that somebody built. So, they probably think of the same thing, snow and powdery. So, all right, noise. So what I'm going to do before I even hook it up to the displacement is I'm going to attach it to the surface here just so we can see our noise and start messing around with it. I'm going to bring these down to say 2 by 2 by 2. And this I'll bring up to not 18, I meant to hit 16. It's probably a little too small. 8. It's probably about right. Just the baseline. Okay. So fractal noise is going to be like this kind of wavy noise. Kind of take a look at turbulence. It gets a little bit more rounded. And if you look at these cracks, they get, let me just bring up view image. Get this nice and big. So we get like these cool little waves in here. I think maybe this would help with. Yeah, I'll bring this down a little bit. That's probably too much. Maybe like 1.25. Complexity, I think like 1.5. Oh, you have to do integers. Okay, so 1, not too crazy about 2 seems okay. All right, so I think 2. What's frequency scale gonna do for us? I'll simplify it a little bit more. Let's try 0.35. Add any distortion to this. See how that warps it around. Nah, we don't need any distortion. All right. In our color, I'm gonna remap this a little bit. I think maybe going up to like a 2 here. Get some more whites. Well, let me go up to 2. Oh, I'm gonna have to remap it through a range. Okay, that's all right. I think I want like more white and black values. So what I'm going to do is use a change range. Put that in here, put that here, and connect this. So what this will let me do is get a little bit more solid black and whites out of it. Nope, this is not the one I wanted. I did want a regular scalar change. There we go. So our new max will be 2. So we got a little bit pure white in there. Might even go negative with this in here, get some more blacks out of it. Let's try like a negative 0.175, almost 2. All right, I think that's doing it. And I'm gonna throw it on this displace here as our texture map. And just take a second for it to update. Oh, yeah, that's too heavy. Too heavy a displacement. Hook that back up. So this here, even though it goes in deep sometimes, I think we're going to have to rein it in some. That's looking kind of cool, though. All right, so I like the negative that's happening because these push in here and then we get these cool ridges. I think it's going to break the geometry a little bit, though. Maybe I'll just keep it slightly above. That's looking a little pillowy, which is kind of cool for some of this. negative 0.6 or 0.065. Let's see what that looks like. It's a little bit closer to what I'm imagining. I kind of wish these peaks were softer. I might play with that a little bit. We'll do like 1.5 instead, so I can keep some of the grays in there. It's actually tightening it up, so I'll push this up a little bit. All right, let's see how that looks. It's a little better, I guess. I don't quite hit the same peaks. They kind of round out a little bit more. I come into the noise, see if I can wrangle this a little bit more. If I bring the complexity down to 0, so just gonna get rid of it altogether. Yeah, so keep it at 1. Not really doing anything. I think it's because I have it in the change range now, so it's just getting clamped. All right, that's all right. Let's try frequency, see if changing this around does. Maybe I just need to use it directly from the noise. So it has to be at least 2 complexity for the frequency to make any difference. Okay. Not sure how I feel about that. Maybe some overlap will help with that. What's cell look like? Yeah, cell's not going to be good at this point. Fractal I don't think is either. Maybe it's better to do fractal. Just really soft. Dry nose. Let's see. So we don't really get those cool swirly patterns, but may just be a combination thing where I'll do fractals and. What's up, Clemire? How you doing? So, yeah, like some of this rounds out a little better. But as it goes in, that really starts to break the geometry. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with our base being composited together as a noise fractal and turbulence. There, let's hook this back up. Cool. All right. So let's see what we can do here. All right, so we're getting some cool stuff in here. Think bringing this up a little bit. I like these spots that we're getting in there. It's kind of cool. I'll just check this one first. And I think I'll even this out a little bit more. I disconnect that too, so it's not playing with our eyes. Bring this complexity up. I think 0.9 would be good. Frequency scale. Let's just do a 1 for now. And maybe a 3 for complexity. No. Okay, we'll do 2. All right, so that's good. Let's take a look at this one with the swirls. And if I bring this down. That might look kind of cool with some like super cutouts. All right, that's interesting. What happens if I do like an ad? Makes it really soft. Average the two out. Might be cool. Averaged out. There. Got the clamp on. Okay, let's try that. Let's try these two together as our first noise displacement. Kinda. You know, I think I might just leave it and bring it down a little bit. I really wish, like in these areas here, there's a little bit more defined, but that's okay. We'll start with that. I don't want to get obsessed on like the bass noise there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start blending some more displacements together. So, so for this dirt, it's probably going to have some like bigger chunks like this. So I almost think maybe we could copy some of this noise that we've already made, but just scale it up. So I need a blender. Put this in here. Bass. I'm going to take this noise and this here. Rolled up. There we go. Copy that displacement there, like so. So I'm gonna make this our texture now. So for these chunks, I think I'm gonna get them a little bit more like that. And pipe that in there, see if it gets a little bit grayed out, which is okay. I think just kind of make that 0 for now. Before I start blending the displacements, let's see what this looks like. Oh, that's kind of cool. I kind of wish that was our base now for like these big rivers. All right. We'll start blending these together, see what happens. Can always make it additive if I need to, or compositing stuff some more. All right, so bring this up here. That's taking over a little too much. Not even really seeing the other one. There we go. So I think I'm gonna make this one a little bit more powerful, like 0.1, negative 0.1. Just hope it doesn't break the geometry. All right, so I'm gonna start messing with some browns. Get really rough, it's really orange. So for those who are just joining in now, I'm messing with building a dirt shader. John was asking about it. The way I'm going to tackle it is kind of like how I built the snow shader, except I'm trying to get some more divots in here. It may just be a lost cause for getting such detail like that, but I'm going to try. It may also be just compositing like low, like really high frequency noise with low noise to begin with. I was just thinking about that too. Because looking at this, and like, I mean, this is really wet at the moment, so I can bring this down and probably just have some like dark reds in there for highlights. Bring that up a little bit. Our base probably needs to get even more brown. So I mean, the color itself is going to be the easy part. It's going to be getting this noise all over it. we'll figure it out. So, um, so this we'll just call like mid. Copy this again. So this one I'm going to make it our high frequency. I think this one, what's going to have to happen is I might have to break this apart a little bit and blend a high frequency in with these lower frequencies instead of how I'm doing it now. Ukraine, what's up? That's awesome. So there are a couple people in here from Russia too. It's just worldwide viewing. All right, so let's keep it at fractal. I'm gonna make this something like no, that's gonna be too big. I need to go the other way. Let's try 64. Make it pretty small. I think down in here. Yeah, we can grade up just a little bit. Let's see how this changes it. Cool. All right. Let's hook up this displacement and see what happens. Did I? No, I kept this one negative, didn't I? I meant to go positive here. Like 5. Thank you. I don't know if I've actually hit 1,000 yet. I haven't checked. I am 25 away at this point. I think when I started the stream, I was at about somewhere between 50 and 30 away. I've definitely seen some subscriber things pop up, so thank you. I appreciate it. If I don't hit 1,000 a day, it's not a big deal. I'm going to call this pretty close to 1,000. But if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, it would be awesome to get me to 1,000 today. I would super appreciate it. Not that it really matters because I don't monetize my YouTube stream to, why is this not connecting? With ads or anything, it's just kind of like a numbers game in my head. I'm like, cool, I have 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to monetize the channel. I think I'll just keep making materials, and if you guys like them, you can buy them, and if not, no worries, and we'll play that game because the tutorials are kind of just fun to make and hang out with you guys and do all that. That kind of looks like weird wormy stuff. What if I do cells? I'm going to hook this up instead. Kind of digging that. I think maybe 64 was too much at this point. Maybe something a little bigger. Yeah, because then we get like these holes and ridges and stuff. That's kind of cool. All right, let's hook this back up. That's kind of cool looking, I guess. It's like, I like the divots that are happening. I think, let me bring this down, maybe a little less green, a little darker. Nice. Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, I hadn't really been keeping track, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I almost have 1,000. I kind of want to celebrate that. All right, I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to all blend together now. We'll see. I don't know that this is going in the right direction yet. I think my idea of having to do like a low frequency and a high frequency together to get what I want may work. Yeah, it's definitely become popular. I think one of the biggest things, and the more I learn about it, is just like, so people always say iterating in Octane is super fast. However, like if I'm working with a client and I want to show them something really fast, I can just go in and say, oh, let's turn off the global illumination, and it will cut my render time in half again. Like, it's already fast, and then I can just show them something without GI, and then it makes it really fast. You know, if I need something super realistic, then Redshift can do it. I can just turn on brute force and only use brute force GI, and you know, then you start to get that photorealism out of it. There's a lot of good reasons to be using it. I just subscribe 120. I think I am subscribed. I don't know if I am subscribed, but let me see. Because I recognize the name. Let's see. Cinema. Come on, search. Don't freak out on me. 2 Windows Sin. Come over here. I hate when it does this. YouTube. Cinema4D SV. Cinema 4D tutorials SV. There we go. Well, there you go. Now you've got another one. I recognize your name though, so I've probably watched your tutorials for sure. Ta-da. Hey man, what's up? LMAO, why are you laughing? What am I doing? So, all right. This just isn't resulting in what I thought it would. I think maybe this is cell noise. Let's just try pure turbulence. I think that's going to get a little too wiggly. Yeah, that's too wiggly. Fractal. So this is one of the issues with the noise nodes in Redshift is you get kind of limited selection. Like if this was going out to Unity and an iPhone game, you might be able to say this is acceptable for a dirt shader, but at the moment it's just like I feel like I'm limited, and I may have to just deal with using a Cinema4D noise and bring it in that way, because I really want, like, what is it, Pecco? I forget the exact name of it for the noise. Yeah, but I'm gonna see about using a different noise, like a standard Cinema4D noise. Just pipe this in, get rid of this displacement. So we're gonna need, let's see, 1024 by 1024 probably to get something decent out of it. We'll throw a noise in here. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. You are kind. You is kind. You is smart. And you is important. Yeah, no, I'm not doing any of the color yet. I'm trying to get the displacement going first and build up from there. So I was thinking, like, I really want something closer to like this. What is it, Sema? No, that's still, no, where's the dotty one? Is it this one? Poxo, yeah. Poxo is the one that I was thinking of. I think that will be a little bit better, especially if I pipe it into this mid frequency instead. This seems like it'd be like a good mid frequency. And then this in here. With some of your questions, you can send me a message on YouTube directly if you want, or my email is Liam, like Liam Neeson, LIAM at 5FIVE hyphen 31.com. You know what? I can reply to chats because I have that enabled. So Liam at 531. Yeah, you're right. It won't tile. So it's just like the noise is a lot nicer for sure. Like look at like so many more details. I guess I could throw it in a triplanar so it would tile better. Um, like let's go to like the close up here because you will run into issues where it's not completely smooth. But man, that noise is so much better. Let's. I'm gonna see if I can recreate this. What is it called? The Poxo noise. Yeah, I know. You're freaking out right now, Redshift. We were just talking about that, Claude Mir, like maybe an hour ago. Now we were talking about that. So I have a Portal Light tutorial, or like a lighting tutorial. It's one of like the very first ones where I talk about Portal Lights, and I'm not going to go over it again right now since I just did it on this stream not too long ago. But I'm going to be streaming again at like 1 o'clock Eastern time. So if you want to come back then and ask again, I'll go over it again since it'll be a new stream. But I do know what you're talking about. Come on, texture. I think Redshift is hating me at the moment. Yeah, like you can see right here this seam too, where like the noise should continue. So this looks like a bit of like fractal upon fractal. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now for this. So I'm gonna copy this here, hook that up there. Just kind of freak out for a minute. It says updating geometry. Disconnect this. Cool. So I got these big swirlies, and I think if I add in something a little bit more reasonable, I am really excited for the experimental builds. I haven't installed it yet. I probably will, but the thing is I don't have Maya, so like right now it doesn't really matter to me. But if they start rolling it out to Cinema, then sure. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is composite and then composite again to really get anything close to what we were just looking at with the Poxo. And maybe add, no, divide. Yeah, because like these are, it's kind of what I want in there. Groups, is that Facebook? Okay, let me see. I'll check that for you. Groups / redshift render / perma / 399861673796382. It's a big number. I hope I didn't screw that up. Oh, how Dan made that. You know, I could attempt to make that for reference. Here it is. Because that's beautiful for sure. I'd have to do some research on it. Um, like especially these areas in here. Yeah. Like this you can tell is a texture up here. It's not actually woven, but all this in here, he says it's procedural, so I'm thinking he must have, if he's using heat, he's probably using like a heat source and then driving it to noise or vertex maps. That's probably what this is a vertex map. Which I have a tutorial on how to do that too if you want to use vertex maps for shaders. And that, I think that's probably how I would tackle it. Because you can have like cool soft paints and like bleed out, and I think that would probably solve it. Just for giggles, will it let me composite a composite? Because sometimes Redshift freaks out about this sort of thing. Oh, will let me composite a composite. Hell yeah. Awesome. All right. Let's try 16 for this one. This one is a difference when we average. No. Multiply. Cool. Curvature, and maybe a curvature map. Yeah, like looking at it, coming in here. Well, so the problem with the curvature map is it usually has to do with like the curvature around here. And if you look, I wish I could zoom in even bigger. Full screen will let me. That's a little bit bigger for you guys. So the problem is with the curvatures, it's only going to affect the curves. You know, it's only going to affect these areas, and you can see that it gets procedural in areas like in here. Here, let's do this. Get my pen tool. So like these areas in here, you can see that they're procedural and that they're different in there. And while the spacing apart through all these is the same, it doesn't look it because of the perspective, but these are all going to be equally spaced. The middle parts in here aren't. So like each one of these doesn't have the same signature on it, like heat signature and residue left behind. You can really notice it in like this area here where it gets like super grungy right in this spot, and then like not so grungy here in this spot. So it definitely is like super procedural, like he's saying in the comments. So that would be my guess of how he's doing it. I should shoot him a message and ask him. Maybe he'll break it down for me, because I'm pretty certain I've talked to him on Twitter a couple times about certain things. All right, so I'm just pipe that into displacement. Let's see how this looks just as a displacement. I wish there was a hotkey to hook up displacement so I wouldn't have to use little circles. And I'm going to turn off this pen thing. There we go. Bah. That is getting out of control. What happened? The height's not that high. Why is it? Wow. All right. I'm kind of digging. And I wish I had a ladder like in Houdini so I can make this even smoother. why is that so crazy right there? Look at that. It's like super bumped out in spots, and other spots it's not. All right, maybe it's because I don't have a clamp on here. Um, what's up, Robert? How you doing, man? I definitely have seen you in like the MDA Slack asking questions and stuff. So thanks for joining. There we go. All right. So because it wasn't clamped. The best place to see all the materials I've created would be Gumroad. So gumroad.com/vxxi or xxxi.com for 531. It does look like a sponge. You're right. So I've got all these up right now. I will tell you if I get to 1,000, I will probably do a 1,000 discount code on this stuff. So thanks for subscribing, Robert. As I talk about that, let me see. Do I still have my YouTube page up? No. Let me check right now. What am I away from? YouTube channel. All right, so I have 24 subscribers to go. So there's 17 of you watching. If you aren't subscribed and you hit subscribe right now, that would get that a lot closer. But I think if I hit 1,000 today, I will definitely give a coupon code out for some of these. I also am pretty generous too, so if you ask me, I may have some coupon codes floating around for $1 or so off. But yeah, if you guys want to buy materials, these are all the material packs that I've made. I've got a metal pack and a leather pack, and then this kind of funky glass one, just a caramel shader, and then a snow pack that just came out, ceramic grit thing. But yeah, see, so now it's starting to get some of these little details in there, which I want. So if I go up to 2, or is it just that this displacement was freaking out before? Because it was really like 0.03 too high for this. Like it's going to push it too far. Oh, it works now. I don't know why it was freaking out before. All right. That's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to try like 0.08 because it won't let me do 4 digits. Cool. We're getting some like cool little things in there. I'm digging some of that. Yeah, if I can create that something similar to what Dan did for his shader, I probably would poop my own pants over that. Thanks, Brian. Cool, man. That's awesome. So, what? Boris. I don't know if this is updating because I feel like when I started the stream, it was at this, and yeah. Let me just go into the actual thing here. So, I guess I am at 976. All right, cool. Whatever. Yeah, if I hit 1,000, I will release a coupon code for you guys to get some shaders. So this is looking pretty cool. I'm just kind of leaning in. I really like these patterns, but I wish they fell off a little bit smoother, you know, like I just get so sharp, some of the edges. I need some grays in here. So if I rein this in, will give me some grays. No, that makes that kind of gray. So maybe I need some grays earlier on, and here, or like in here. Probably need some, yeah, this is what's happening. So I need to smooth this out a little bit more, get some grays in there so it's not so harsh. Maybe the complexity is a little high. Let's see if that helps. Not really. A little bit, but then that gets too gray. Tighten this up some more. Maybe that will help. Cool. All right, let's see how this looks. See if we get some smoother fall offs. A little bit. Like these edges in here though kind of suck. Like that's subtract. Like I like the islands, but I also don't want them to be so island. Thanks, Robert. That's awesome. A new sale just popped up. Cool. Let's see how this looks. By the way, I know we're just watching me mess around with making a dirt shader at the moment, but this stream is really for you guys. So you can stop me at any point and I can save this. You should probably hit save now anyway, and answer questions for you. If I've already covered it in like the first hour or so that I've been streaming, then I probably won't answer it now, and I'll answer it when I come back from eating some lunch in a little bit. Or I can direct you towards a tutorial that I already have. It's like, I like the softness in there. Like that's cool. Why? I think I just need some grays in here too. Can I feather this out some more? So that's too much. Undo. Let's try like 0.85. Let's see, what time is it? It's almost 12. So I'm going to be streaming for about another 20 minutes, just kind of hanging out, making this stuff, answering questions if you guys need it. If you're watching, because I see there's almost 20 of you watching right now, and you have a question, and I am about to sign off, just shoot me a message on YouTube. You can send me a direct message or save it, because there's only going to be an hour break between now and when I come back. Wow, that looks like super swirly. It's not exactly what I want. So what's this look like then? It's because of this. You have to go. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, and good luck on getting to your 1,000 too. That's awesome. I'm going to go to 0.55 for this. See if I can get some more grays in here. There we go. Starting to get a little bit more gray. What if I just go up to 1? Maybe I'll adjust my color a little bit. Oh man, Robert, you were asking in the Slack and I just saw the notification because I just popped it up. See if there's anything else in Slack that I missed if anybody was asking me. No, okay, cool. So these grays look like they might be a little bit better. There we go. That's looking a little bit more organic, not so chiseled. That's looking decent. If I clamp the range, let's try like 1.25. Just push it a little bit more. Watch is going off. Cool. That's fine. That's looking okay. All right, let's reconnect. Let's see how this is looking. Ugh, still like I see some details in here. So let's say I reconnect this. Like these finer details in here and in here, like, I feel like I'm just not getting them the way that I would anticipate. Maybe I just don't have my height high enough. I'll do 0.8 here. I think that's going to be too much. Yeah, because that gets like kind of just gnarly. Like, let's back up a little bit. Maybe it's just because I'm so close, but it looks like those are really deep. Yeah, I kind of want to see these all merged together. Oh, no, not Not like that. That's going to freak out. Go to the displacement and see if it kind of smooths out anywhere, because right now it's just gross. Like, why is it getting all chiselly when I have grays in there? Maybe I just need to bypass this change range. Well, see, that's looking a lot better than where it was an hour ago. All right. I can deal with that. That's getting kind of dirty. John, if you're still watching, getting a little bit closer, dude. Not leaps and bounds, but definitely getting some of these grooves in there that I was hoping for. Let's go to a close-up. I think. So Chris, Tokyo Megaplex, if you're still watching, yeah, I know what you're saying about like there's no reflection in here. I think that will help too, especially if I add like a coating on top with like some of these nice like oranges and yellows that pop out here. So if I like turn this on there and maybe like a 2 for the IOR, bring this up, make it really rough and kind of come in a little bit. If I start taking some of that noise and messing around with it, I think that will help. How do I bring this back down? Quality rust. It's kind of rust looking right now, especially with like the gloss added on top, like the coat. Now it's starting to get a little muddy. I think if I rein this back in, what's going to have to happen is I'll probably have to take some of these noises and pipe them into like the coat here. And maybe mess around with the overall tint just a little bit, more like something like that. It's probably getting a little dark. But I think what I'll do is as I work on this right before I go to lunch, I'll reference some of my snow noise to get like some of these like really fine details in there, because I think that's where it's gonna like really shine for like these pebbly things. It's coming along okay. I was expecting to be along faster than this. It's just like how organic some of this moves, and then how inorganic some of the noises get. I think I like it's composite upon composite is what's going to really make it like up in here. So like what I did up in here for this bass noise, I think I'm going to have to do kind of like what I did here. Maybe just like soften these up a bit. This will be like a 4. Disconnect the displacement so it doesn't freak out anymore. So if that's like that, and then down here, what's this one look like? Yeah, I think that turbulence isn't going to work very well for that there. To make complexity, I'll go up to like 8, make it pretty complex. Kind of just have these. So that's kind of cool looking, like this big bass swirl, and then noise in here. What am I doing? An average? Maybe subtract? What happens if I do a subtract? That's kind of cool looking. I think I'm gonna hook up this displacement. So it's a little bit of a trial and error game, especially for like organic moving stuff, but now I'm kind of determined, John. I think this may be my next pack. So it's not blending as much as I thought it would. I'm just going to turn off the overall tint for now. Let's make it white. Cool. impact. Let's try difference. Foundation's looking okay. It's just a little more noisy than I was expecting. So maybe 2 in here. Some bigger chunks in there. Might be too much. Too big now. So what I'm doing on these coordinates too is it just affects the overall scale. So when we're looking at it black and white, it's making it bigger and smaller. So that's how you can get really fine detail, or you can get really broad detail. It's like, I always try and keep it to even numbers and multiplying cleanly, but it doesn't seem to want to cooperate like that. I think what's going to happen is I'll go like this, and the bias, instead of going all black, let's see if I can get these to get to like a gray black. I think the other way. What's up, Grant? I am still broadcasting. I'm going to be broadcasting for another like 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to take a lunch, and then I'm going to come back and do it again. Right now, if you look in the chat, you'll see Big Green Mug is John, and he was asking about possibly making some dirt. So I'm looking at some dirt and kind of giving it a go, more along the lines of how I did my snow shaders. I was thinking that might be the best bet. However, it's like I can't get any gray at the moment. It's not wanting to give me any gray. Come on. All right, I'm gonna try blowing it out the other direction. Maybe that will help it. Oh yeah, maxes out. See, that's part of the problem too, is it maxes out at 1 there. All right, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit and make this like a 50% gray. I didn't want to do that, but it is what it is. Okay, cool. Let's come in here. I think maybe this will get a little bit more organic, except in these black lines in there. I'm gonna make this like 85. No, sorry, should have just been 15. I was thinking backwards. 15. There we go. But it doesn't quite hit black. Like, it gets pretty dark, but I'm hoping that will clean it up a little bit. I think what's possibly happening is just this in here too. So I'm gonna just keep it 1 to 1. See if that helps clean it up. Grant, are you working on anything cool, man? Or are you at work? Still kind of chunky, but that's okay. I'm going to pull back on the camera and just see where it's gotten us. So that's kind of cool looking. It's a little bit chunky, more chunky than I wanted, but I do like these kind of streams that are happening that you see in dirt, that, you know, you get these streams of divots just from the way water moves and things like that. Now that I combine it together, though, I'm not fully pleased. All right, well, so that's why I came to the stream so late. That's all right. You're West Coast, so it's still 8:50 there. So if anyone has any questions in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up so I can go eat some lunch since it is almost noon here. And then I'll get back on around 1 Eastern time. So what is that? 10 Pacific, right? Yeah. 3-hour difference. So just a little hour break and we'll answer some questions again. Maybe I'll work out this dirt shader. If you're watching and you aren't subscribed and you want to help get me to 1,000 subscribers, I'd appreciate it. I also announced a few minutes ago, if I get to 1,000, I will probably release a coupon code for my packs, which I don't have open anymore, but I've got these shader and material packs, and so if I get to 1,000, I will definitely give out a coupon code to you guys for that. You have a question. What am I going to eat for lunch? We made a lot of pasta yesterday because my kids are on this kick of wanting butter and cheese pasta, which is really annoying. So I'll probably make something with that since we have so much left over. We also have a lot of sandwich meat because the week just started, so I might eat some of that up so it doesn't go bad. But I also need to leave some for my kids, so yeah. If you're watching and you aren't subscribed, what's wrong with you? Subscribe already. That is a quote from Grant. Also, if you are watching and you don't use Cinema4D, I can show you how to make some stuff in Redshift too, or not Redshift, geez, Houdini as well, because I can open that up. It's not my normal kind of stream, but I do use Houdini a little bit as well, and we can screw around in there. And it's the same process. It's all node based. It'll look like this. There are little quirks here and there, but if anyone's interested in that, that can also be a topic for a stream sometime. This is gonna be my new goal, John, for sure. But yeah, if you're just joining and you have questions, feel free to shoot me a message on YouTube, and when I come back, I'll answer them. And then after I get through those, we can start messing around with this shader again or whatever you guys want to do. So I'm already saved on this. I think I'm gonna call it quits a couple minutes early just because I'm not getting any questions in. But yeah, I'm glad you guys have been hanging out, and we're almost to 1,000. I'm just checking everywhere that questions could be. Cool. Nothing on Twitter. I'm just gonna check Slack as well. Nothing on the various Slacks. Oh, what is this? And cool. All right. So I'm going to call it quits for now. I'm going to take a break for about an hour. I have to play Mr. Dad this afternoon, so I may not be back live, but I'll catch you later. That's awesome, John. Cool. No worries. I have to play Dad 2 starting around 3:30 or 4, so that's why my next stream is probably going to be from like 1 to 3 or 3:30, depending on how active it is, but no worries. It'll be recorded for sure. All right. You know what? It's been a long time since I've done a YouTube event stream. I usually just do like a stream. So like, do I just pick up where I left off later? Do I leave this open like that and just keep the stream going? What do I do? Maybe I just need to start a secondary stream after this. think that's what I'm going to do. So I'll turn this off for now, and I am out of focus camera. Thanks for joining this first half today. I will be back in about an hour after I eat some lunch. And if you have any questions, save them up, and we'll tackle something else next. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.